Okay then. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in the world today. I'm going to move my mic so you can actually hear me better and properly. And my name is Gingernut, better known as Cal. Welcome to Charging League Racing here tonight. And tonight, interestingly, is I'm going to quickly whip my notes up just so I can give you a little bit of an intro. We are heading to round 10. What's interesting about round 10? We are halfway through our CLR calendar for Thursday tier season 4 already. It's flown by. 10 races we're through now, or going to be after tonight's race. And what better place to mark the centre and the middle of this calendar than at the infamous circuit, the Barcelona Catalonia, for round 10. So this iconic first track of This iconic Grand Prix hosted its first track, that's better, in 1991. And has since become a staple in the racing world. Spanning across 4.657 kilometres with 14 corners, having 8 to your right, 6 to the left, is a track that prioritises high-speed corners, but also challenges our drivers with the technical low-speed sections that require precision and finesse. Don't ask Jens what that means, because he won't be able to tell you. Tonight, the drivers will tackle 33 laps and an 18-minute qualifying session, where strategy will be crucial as long as it doesn't rain, with the medium to hard compound and strategy looking like the best and better option. However, with the tight technical corners, the chance of a safety car is fairly high, so drivers will have to stay on their toes here today. Looking back at our previous CLR race winners, Sleepy Sloth, as most of you very well know, took victory in Season 2, Round 2, marking his final CLR F1 race before he went off and had a nice big knee injury, which has sent him out of racing for a very long time. Will we see him come back? I won't answer that question. That's not for me to answer. Moving on, though, into the F1 24 launch race 3 that is. George Gamer, everyone knows who that is. Was it 3-time world champion, 4-time world champion now? I don't even know. Lost count. I've lost count. And he actually won that race in Spain and then went on to win the championship in that F1 24 launch season, as we have cars on track already, so I need to hurry up. And then Limitless Draco most recently won in CLR Friday tier, Season 3, Round 7. A lot to say and a lot of statistics, getting them all out early on. But with the championship battle heating up now and the mid-season is turning up upon us tonight, who will rise to the challenge? Will it be anyone new? Will it be someone we've seen before? Let's find out, as we have cars on track for qualifying. So let's get ourselves sorted for this 18-minute session, which we're already a minute and a half into already, which is ridiculous. I'm going to quickly sort myself out. There we go. So there we go. We are underway and ready to go. Who is first on track? First on track is someone new. Well, he's not new. He's been in CLR for quite a while, but his first race, I very well believe. Here he is, DRL Alex. This is the man. Some of you might know him from other leagues. Some of you might not know who he is at all. But I'd very much well know who he is from previous, hearing about him from other people. Number 5 on the Haas, stepping in for Nivi tonight. He will be trying to do his best. Not sure his actual pace for anywhere, especially around Spain. So we will find out, as he is already through Sector 1. Purple, obviously, but he has got a car in front of him. Hopefully that Mercedes will jump out the way, and it has. I think that is Hump, as he is the only Mercedes here today, as Gio hasn't showed up. In chat, though, we do have a couple of people already showing up. Jens, he said hi, Callum. Hi, Jens. Nice to see you here. Also, a couple days ago, Captain, so some of you know him as your boy Hobnob, has followed. Championship Leader has followed the CLR Twitch. Championship Leader, not here today. Interesting to see, that is. Very interesting to see. If we look towards our current standings, he is on 150 points compared to MJB's 144. MJB won it last time out. So if MJB wins it and gets fastest lap, that'll be 23 points, which would give him, and I'm trying to do quick maths, if he's already got a 9-point lead, that would give him about a 15-point lead, 14, 16-point lead, something around that, which is ridiculous. That would be insane. So if MJB can have a good race today, and he is currently in the pit lane, just buying his time, if he has a good race here today, he could be on for a very, very good session. DRL Alex looks like he's invalidated his lap time, so the first one that has actually set a lap time is Rico. He is in the McLaren here today, stepping in once again as a reserve, and he has just gone fastest. 21 though in the V-Carb has said no thank you, gone 3 tenths quicker, doing a 12.8, which is nice and quick, I do believe. The Kick Sauber of Bijan, I believe it is. I might be wrong. I will message him afterwards. I was going to message him before, but I forgot. So I'll message him afterwards and ask how it said. I think it is Bijan, but I will find out. Someone I know to say the name of is Bubba. Nice and simple. He's in the McLaren. He's just beaten his ex-teammate of 21 by 7,000. So really close there as he lets go one of the Alpines. And the first Alpine out is Max here, closely followed by his teammate of Jens Jordan. On top right now, though, we have Igor. Boombo, as most of you know him as. He hasn't been here, or he was here last week with a DNF. The 2 races before, hasn't been here. So he hasn't been up there, but he showed he is now. P1, 2 tenths ahead. DRL Alex and Dino Stan, the hash duo, down in P5 and 6. DRL Alex hasn't set a competitive lap time yet. That's 3.5 seconds off the pace. Dino Stan is currently P5, 1.4, and Hump's just come across the line, going 5.4 seconds off the pace. So that isn't his quickest lap time. He'll be looking to improve. Rico, he's just done a cool down lap. He'll be going again. And then next across the line is a V-Carb, is 21. He'll be looking to go again. The Red Bull man, he has got a partner here today, and it's a new full-time driver of Creon? I'm going to say Creon. I will find out. There's another person to find out how I should say their name next. But Furious Appy down in P16. And his teammate, we're going to say Creon, is currently in P12. Is he in the CLR Twitch? Then he can let me know. If he's not, then there we go. I'll just have to butcher his race most of the time. Who else have we missed? Max Tier in the Alpine and his teammate have both set the laps. P6 and P6 and P2. Jen's up in P2. Max has just been knocked down, though, by the Dutchman, his fellow Dutchman, Furious Appy, who's now down to P7. So good lap time from Furious Appy, beating the current league owner. So the Red Bull, very quick. DRL Alex has just put in a competitive lap time. I had a feeling he would. And he's currently was 2 tenths off the pace. Now 4 tenths off the pace. 4 tenths off of the Mercedes of Humph, who is another one who's just set a competitive lap time, going for a 12.4. Very quick. Rico, another driver. We don't really see him up there in qualifying, but we have us now going up 2 tenths off the pace in P4. Stepping in for your boy Hobnob, doing an absolute screamer. 21, he's just come across the line. He's put his car up to P5. So a lot of new names up there at the moment. So we are missing a couple of big ones. A big one, though, that we aren't missing, MJB. He's on an outlap with his teammate Skull. Sorry, both of them Aston Martins. Not on outlaps, hot laps. Who else have we got that we might want to have a quick look at? The Alpine coming into the pit lane. His teammate going up for another one. That was Bubba, though, with a purple sector 3. Only going 2/100ths off of pole position. Provisional pole. Still hauled by Humph. Bubba, though, given a very competitive lap time, trying to beat that. Furious Appy is pulling into the pit lane, whilst behind him we have DRL Alex. No, he's pulling into the pit lane as well, so I got all excited about nothing. The man I want to see, though, MJB25. He's a very quick driver here today. We know he's going to be up there. Is he going to be up here on his first lap in qualifying? Of course he is. Doing a 12 minute, that's very slow. Doing a 1 minute 12 flat, so very quick. 4 tenths ahead of Humph, which is insane. That's an insane lap time from the Dutchman of MJB. So very, very good lap time from him. He'll be over the moon. Who else have we got? Should we have a look at someone else? There's his teammate, Skull. Here he comes, round the final corner of turn 14. Does he set a good lap time? Woo! Of course he does. Here comes Skull, the British, going up to P3, now P4, as the Williams duo go P2 and 3 respectively. We haven't seen Reg in a little while. I don't think. He wasn't here last week. He missed Belgium, which was a very exciting one, to say the least. They go P2 3 and 4. Was P2 and 3. Jens has said no, he wants that P2 back, so he's got even closer. So Jens, the next closest one to MJB. We have Racebro in chat. Who is that D guy? He must have impeded me and gave me wing damage. Oh, he's a new man. He's not used to league racing, so he's not the most experienced. So I apologise that he's taking your wing off on a hot lap, Racebro. But yeah, he isn't the most experienced league racer. He's joining in today, getting a bit of experience, and hopefully he'll join us in a little bit further on in the season as a bit more experience under his belt. He's just more of a career mode player, but he has just gone purple sector 1, so he is quite quick by the looks of it. I was just talking about Humph beforehand and the top top 5 just all together. All of these trying to beat MJB, but they cannot topple him just yet, as MJB's teammate Skull has set a good lap time, as we did go over a second ago. We then have, that looks like a Williams, yep, George and Reggie coming back into the pit lane, and so does Jens, yep, yeah he does, Jens is into the pit lane. I was speaking to him the other day, he doesn't like me butchering his name, obviously, but we're getting him again. JO's asking for an invite, of course you can get an invite, buddy. Let me just quickly find you. Where are you? And then I want to have a look at that car I was just watching. There he is. That was the new man of Creon as he comes through turn 14 towards the line. Will he be able to topple the MJB? No, he does not. Just goes behind his teammate by 800ths of a second. So he's in P13, the Red Bull duo, P12 and 13 together. Red Bull at the moment, P9 in the constructors, being Ferrari by 3 points. We don't have any Ferraris here today, so neither Psycho Lemmy nor Camilo joining us in today's race. Sorry, no, Psycho Lemmy doesn't race here anymore. Psycho Lemmy has dropped out of Thursday tier. I think he's been replaced though. We'll just check before I give you false information. And yes, Utan Khan, some of you might remember him. He has replaced Psycho Lemmy as a Thursday tier Ferrari driver. He's not here today either, so you know we're missing him as well. I'm sure he will be very much missed. So will Psycho Lemmy. We like Psycho Lemmy. He's a man we like to see on the CLR grid. Rico though, a new man. He's joined in fairly well, isn't he? He's showing what he can do. He missed the first race. Oh no, Saudi Arabia. He was his first race, wasn't it, for him? He didn't have the best time. He had a bit of a DNF. Came back for Portugal, but P10 wasn't his best result. He wouldn't have been over the moon with that. And then P11, sorry, no, P13 in Belgium, which another one, wouldn't be over the moon with that, but Belgium is a hard circuit, so you can't judge him too much. Spain is, I think, where we'll see his first true skill and capabilities around a slightly easier track. 21 though, going for another lap time. We like 21. He's another experienced driver in CLR now, joining, I believe, at the start of Season 3, maybe Season 4, but he's been here for quite a while. I don't remember how long people have been here before, but it is a long, long time. We love to see some old people joining in, don't we? 21, going again, currently 2,000s up in Sector 1. Bijan is currently in P10 in his Kick Sauber, so he's just in the middle of the pack. His teammate of Ellie obviously hasn't been here last week. She isn't here this week either. We'll definitely see her returning once again for sure. We love to see Ellie on the track. Yen's saying that's me, I'm old. If you think you're old, you need to speak to Max here. He's been here since 2021. He's definitely an old man in our CLR grid. He is probably the oldest, I would say. Maybe, yeah, he is, because he created it, so he is the oldest. Max Tier is our oldest driver on this pack. Well, not oldest, he's not that old, but he's the oldest CLR driver we have. I think then, next on the grid as most senior and racing for a while, it's probably Furious Happy. I think it's Furious Happy. He's been here for a while. Then maybe George. But a lot of these drivers have been here since like Season 2, Season 3, so we love to see it. Jens is quite old compared to most of the people here now. Yeah, he is. He's been here for quite a while. We do love Jens Jordhall, which I've just butchered his name. I'm sure he shouted at me going, oh, you said my name wrong, and there's a little screen. But there we go. As Alex comes back into the pit lane, his teammate Dino Stan comes across the line. Proves by 4 attempts. Jens Jordhall. No, that was, to be honest, that's the best you've ever done. Actually quite good. Oh, there you go. Jens Jordhall was happy with what I said about his name. There you go. But Dino Stan, 4 attempts improvement. Does put him ahead of the Red Bull, so he'll be happy with that. Up to P14. And Alpine wouldn't be Jens because he's messaging. You don't message and drive people. It's maxed here. He's just improved by 9 attempts, so he's up to P13. Very good lap time from him. Will he be going again? Probably. He does have the time. We still have 5 minutes left in this session. Who else is that? That is a V-carb. That is not Igor. It's... Ooh, Igor, what are you doing? We just saw a little bit of a tank slapper for the FIA member of a Boomba, better known as Igor. Through, what turn is that? Turn 4, the exit of turn 4, that long sweeping one after the end of Sector 1. So, having a little bit of a wiggledy-piggledy. But his teammate, 21, I think he's just doing cooldown, and he is. Who isn't doing a cooldown, though, is the Red Bull of Furious Happy. Has he improved from his last lap time? No. So he was 2 attempts off that lap time. He'll probably cool down and go again. Save up that battery. A little bit of slow cars at the moment as Dino Stan's just cooling down to go on another lap. Hopefully he'll jump out the way of Max Tier. Or he's just going to give Max Tier a bit of a tyre. I'm sure Max Tier won't sniff that away. Nope, they both come into the pit lane. Both of them into the pit lane. But the other Red Bull of Creon is going again through turn 14. He's on an out lap, going again. So in a minute 12 time, we will see him in a second. James is saying he's been streaming along to Ordinary all day. Ordinary by Alex Warren. I don't blame you, it's a great song. I don't want to get another copyright claim, so I won't talk about too much anymore, but that song is a great one. I do like it very much. I won't sing it, but, you know, Jens likes my singing. He does enjoy to listen to the Ginger Nut singing as Igor comes back into the pit lane. He does. Of course he does. Who doesn't? As actually, most of our drivers are in the pit lane at the moment, so we will see, as always, a bit of a rush towards the end of the session. 3 minutes left. 21 is going to show us what he's got under his belt as he's going to set his last probably competitive lap time as he comes through turn 14 up to the line. Does improve, but it's only by 200ths of a second, so he's not going to be over the moon with that. It's still a little bit of an improvement, so it is still good enough. Bubba goes again, currently 5/10 off of MJB, still our pole sitter at this current moment in time. Will he be able to find the 5/10 and put him ahead of MJB? We will see. The Red Bull, Creon, is he improving? He is not at the moment. He is currently staying just about level with his previous lap time. Will he be able to beat the teammate? That's the thing that everyone wants to do. Beat your teammate. It's the #1 rule in F1, and he is at the moment, as he has just gone P15, being his teammate by just over a tenth. No, just over. What is it? Just under a tenth? I don't know. I don't know. I'll shush about that, shall I? Because I don't have a clue. As we now have, though, what I do have a clue about, drivers are coming out onto the track, and I like to see that. Bubba is currently on a hot lap, 21 into the pit lane, but the Aston Martin of School, he is out onto the track, and Bubba has just gone purple sector 2, so we'll move away from School. Apologies for that, the Aston Martin, as the Papaya McLaren car is coming through now turn 13 towards turn 14. Will he lift? Doesn't. Oh, he does a little bit, but he keeps it in 6th gear, gets into 7th, and now towards the line. Does he improve massively? Yes, he does. 2/10 improvement up to P3. Won't stand as there'll be people jumping up behind him unless he has enough time to go again. And I think he has enough fuel. So, currently P3, 2/10 off the front, only 3,000th off of Jen. So, he is very, very close. He'll be looking to improve, but that is a very good lap time. Don't normally see Bubba up there. He's definitely done his practice. He knows what he's doing here today, doesn't he? Who else have we got? Alex, as he's coming through on an out lap into turn 13. He'll be getting underway. Currently P11, 5/10 off. Very close grid at the moment. Our top 12 covered by 6/10. It's really, really close here today. And MJB is actually covered ahead by 2/10. So there we go. Yeah, that is Bijon, currently sitting on the side of the track. And I think that's Mercedes of Humph. A little wave between each other. However, who else is on track? We have the Williams duo going really slowly, trying to sort themselves out, as the V-carb of Igor, I believe, just flies past. Maybe it was a Red Bull. No, it was 21. 21 flies past. As he comes in the pit lane, that'll be 21 session over here today, as I'm already losing my voice. It's only qualifying. The McLaren duo of Rico and Bubba, they'll be going onto another hot lap, as Bubba has gone again. Who else we got? There's a V-carb, that is Igor. Then there's the Aston Martin of MJB. But Skoll is on a hot lap. Hump is on an out lap, getting ready to go. So is Racebrower. Then is Max Tier. And then you have the hat of Alex. Alex is on a hot lap, but he spins. Alex spins in turn 10 there. We know you can spin there, and we have seen a lot of moves there in the pre-season event for Season 4, as Alex does spin. His first qualifying session in CLR has ended in a little spin. He does have time to go again. Does he have enough energy and fuel? We will see. Who does have enough energy and fuel is Skull. As he comes across the line, does he improve? Massive improvement. Purple sector 3, improves by 2/10, but in P4, 2/10 off the pace at the moment. Alpine comes across the line. That is Max Tier. Jen's across the line on a hot lap. Warm-up lap. Going onto a hot lap. Theo Alex goes again, I would say, or he's just going to trundle around, as his teammate of Dino Stan looks like he is also going again. That is then a Williams, I believe. No, who's that just gone across? It is George Gamer, just gone across the line. Three-time world champion, apologies, has just gone P2, 2/10 off of MJB. As Bubba comes across the line, that's his session over. Reggie goes P6, 21 session over, P9. Rico session over, P10. And Creon is currently P15. MJB's gone even quicker, going forward 2 tenths quicker, 4 tenths ahead of his closest rival, George, at the moment. Here comes the Mercedes. Humph just goes off behind, that is George Gamer. Then you have the Kicks Albert of Racebar, comes across the line, doesn't improve, that's Racebar's session over. The Alpine of Max here comes across the line, improves by 2 tenths, not enough to make a position up. Who else do we have come across the line? The other Alpine of Jens. He comes through the final turn of turn 14. Does he improve enough? Goes up to P3, sorry. The small improvement. Then you have the Haas of Alex. That's his session well and truly over. Our final driver to come across the line would have been Dino Stan. But Dino Stan has invalidated his lap. And that will be it for qualifying as Dino Stan comes into the pit lane. So, once again, as we normally see in CLR Friday, MJB has brought it back into CLR Thursday and put the Aston Martin on pole. Closely, well not very closely, then followed by George Gamer. 4 tenths separate him, so George Gamer P2. Then you have Jens in P3, very close behind the Williams driver. Humph P4, with Bubba nicely close behind. Then you have Skull and the Aston Martin in P6. The Aston Martin duo doing quite well together. Reggie, close behind as well in the Williams, puts himself into P7. Then you have the V-Carb duo in P8 and 9 together. P10 is rounded off by Rico in the McLaren, stepping in for your boy Hobnob here today. Then you have the Haas of DRL Alex in P11. Followed behind by your one-time CLR Friday Season 3 champion, Racebar. In P13, we have the Alpine of Max Tier, and then P14, the second Haas of Dino Stan. Then, to round off your grid, in P15 and 16, you have the Red Bull duo of Furious Appy and Creon. So, Creon, as well, does have, as we wait again for it to switch, 5-second time penalty, grid place penalty. Won't affect him, as, yeah, because I think he's at the bottom of the grid, and he is. So, Creon won't be affected by that. I think that'll probably be when he hit Racebar. Not the end of the world. I'm sure Racebar will report it if he needs to or if need be. In chat, Jens is saying he likes me. Likes me? What am I waffling? Jens is saying that he likes to my sing along. Sing nut. That's okay. Okay, Jens, thanks for that. He just made me do a sloth. Moving on. Swiftly moving on. We're currently waiting for our session to get on the way. We'll wait for the command from Geo, because obviously he'll give the 2-minute warning. There isn't any qualifying ban today, as it was meant to be Uton Khan, but he's obviously not here today. We're waiting for that 2-minute rule. For now, I'll just waffle on, and it has been broken. So 2-minute rule's been broken for another week, a day in a row. I will just wait from the command from George to see what he wants to do. Maybe I jinxed it, so yeah, the 2-minute rule has been broken. Means I don't have to waffle on for too much longer, but we can hear the countdown going away. I'm hoping that George Gamer has found out who broke the 2-minute rule, and obviously punishment will come their way, obviously. I'm just waiting for the message from George, and yeah, it looks like we're getting underway right now as we're going onto the formation lap. Yep, there we go. So, formation lap is underway. Let's get ourselves ready, shall we? Let's have a look at what we want to see. Position changes. Oh no, let's have a look at the tyres. Oh, we have some soft compounds here today. I wasn't expecting a soft compound, you know. I was expecting the medium hard or the hard medium. But, you know, I'm not that great. And turns out it's a soft medium, the medium soft by the looks of it. Will we see the hard though? Possibly. Possibly indeed. Maybe the soft hard. Maybe. But everyone is on the mediums apart from Jens, 21 and Max Ditch. The Alpine duo have clearly planned this out to go onto the softs with an insane start and get underway. Everyone else playing it safe, going into the mediums. If there's a safety car early on though, as we know, the hards can last years, like literally years, before they go anywhere near failing. So at this point, if you pit lap 1, you can take the hards to the end, and it's just challenging. So that could be an option for the Alpine and 21. Right now, though, MJB is just going through in towards turn 11 now. We have 33 laps under our belt to watch and enjoy. So everyone that's in chat, Hope you're sitting down with your bucket of popcorn that we always bring each week in, week out, and the same for Friday tier. Or hope we're ready. I'm well and truly ready. I hope MJB's ready, because he's got a 3-time world champion right up his chuff, and he will want this P1 here today. Hasn't won yet, I don't think, George Gamer this season. No, he hasn't. So he is going to be hungry, and this is his best opportunity to get it. You can see now your entire grid forming up at the back of the pack. And who will be our final one? It will be Jo, as he is in the session. Everyone weaving, and there is the back of the Mercedes. The Ionos car on the rear wing is putting in to his grid box now. Max Tier disqualifies himself. So does Dino Stan, so they've missed their grid box. However, we now have all 17 cars lined up on the grid. 33 laps away, we will get underway right now as we go to the 5 big red lights. They ignite the silence. Now is pure adrenaline in CLR as we fly towards turn 1. We're going to go right on board with the front 3. Jens, here he comes. So does Hump. We're 3 wide already into turn 1 in CLR. Hump with an absolutely amazing start. Nearly making up 2 positions. Does he make the move on Jens' stick though? It looks like it is. He's on the inside of now turn 3. He pushes Jens a little bit. Jens keeps the little bit of nose in there, but Hump with a 2-position start off the lead. George Gamer clearly had a Lando-esque kind of start and drops down 2 positions. That is not a start he would want, as he's up the inside of Hump. And so was Jens. So Jens and George Gamer proved me wrong. Back up to P2 and 3 respectively. Hump's fallen back down to P4. Skull's got past Baba and Boomba's got past Reg. Alex is fighting hammer and tongue with 21. Very close, as 21 does not give much room there. Alex will not be happy about that as Rico looks for a move. 21 needs to chill out a little bit in case he causes anyone some damage. Then looking back, Raceborough looks for a move. Up the inside of Rico, gives him a little bit of a shove, just enough to be inside the limits of racing. Rico, a front wing damage though, does keep the position, as Key Creon just makes the move on the kick Sauber, so a good move from the Red Bull. The other Alpine of Max Tier going hammer and tongue with Furious Happy. Our 2 OGs hammer and tongue. Jo though gets the move as Max Tier gets shoved off. Dino Stan also tries to make the move as Rico pulls into the pit lane to get that front wing changed. Side by side go the 2 Dutchmen, Max Tier and Dino Stan towards turn 1. We want to see the front bite, but at the back is even more exciting as there is a huge battle. Back at the front though, as we want to have a quick look, Jens has kept in that 1 second space. 5 tenths covers him and MJB, which means DRS is well and truly on. That is what we like to see. We like to see how close it is. And to be fair, all the way down to P10 is DRS between all our drivers. So this is going to be exciting. Creon has lost that DRS though. So Racebro is going to have a huge advantage. We will look up ahead now. Will Jens be able to look to the front of this Grand Prix and the lead of this Grand Prix? He has the guy's sights in front of him. He knows what he has to do. Can he make it stick as he goes through turn 10? He's gone purple sector 1. He's gone purple sector 2. The Alpine car is absolutely flying like a rocket ship. And MJB will definitely be looking in his mirrors now. He thought this race would be under his belt and sealed, but down at the middle of the pack goes Racebra on the inside of Creon. Furious Happy and Jay going side by side. We are going Noah's Ark 2 by 2 as Jay goes flying into the side wall. That is a crash for Jayo, and he has lost his front wing there. So Jayo already into the wall. He's going to have to change that front wing. We have seen a collision like that before. George Gamer in the practice pre-season event of Season 4. We've seen him fly into that wall when he drove straight into the track. Jayo done a similar thing, but he kept it on safely. In the middle, 21 and Bijan. Not Bijan, but yeah, sorry, it is Bijan. Going hammer and song. Alex is also involved in this fight. Up ahead though, Jens has made the move for P1. MJB down to P2. So, will George Game be looking for a move? Will MJB want that P1 back though? We will see as we go on to the second DRS straight of a lap 3. Through turn 9 now. MJP keeps it nice and flat. DRS activated. Up to 8th gear now. Will he use the ERS? Doesn't actually use 8th gear. He stays in 7th, so he stays behind for the entire of lap 3 here. Jens is going to have led a CLR race in Thursday tier for a lap now. He's going to be over the moon with that. He now will be looking for the win. MJB though, he wants that win even more. He knows what it will do for his championship fight. He knows he needs the win to get that huge advantage. And here he comes. Here comes George Gamer, the 3-time world champion. He wants the win. 3 wide, now 2 wide towards turn 1. Jens has lost 2 positions. George Gamer back up to P2. Our front 3 back up to the starting order as it was before. Currently our top 8 is not changed at all. That's all it is, and that's nothing. That's interesting, actually. Top 8 not changing. P3 though, Jens, he's lost 2 positions. He's got Humph all over his rear end though. Bubba 1.1 off of Humph as there's moves at the back of the pack. Max Tier makes a move on Furious Happy. These two have been going hammer and tong as it looks like Max Tier is ahead as you see him going off into the distance, and he is. Furious Happy is into the wall though by the looks of it, and Dino Sand is now past him. My voice is already going. This race is chaos as I quickly draw a stop to have a quick sip. There we go. We will continue on as the DRS has not been split yet. Bubba, actually, has got back into the DRS of the top 4, so credit to him. We will ride on board with George Gamer as we go through the final 2 corners of lap 4. We're going to start to head in to lap 5 now. DRS will be activated on George. It'll be activated on Jens. We jump to helicopter cam. You see George Gamer to the outside now. Here he goes on the Aston Martin. Will Jens look for a move too? It looks like it. George makes the move stick. Jens puts his nose in there. Can't make that one stick. Possibly a warning for the Alpine driver there as he goes through turn 2. Cuts it a little bit. Humph, will he pick up any scraps? He looks to the inside now of turn 4. No, he doesn't. Backs out of it. He thinks better of it as here comes your grid through turn 4. Everyone still fairly close to each other. Nice action here today as here comes Max Tier. And then Furious Happy with that little bit of a collision has dropped out. Max Tier has got the other Red Bull ahead of him now. So he's got to try and get that move done. As Bijan is all in a world of his own at the moment. 21 and DRL Alex nice and close. And then everyone else ahead of them fighting hammer and tong. But there goes Jens into the gravel trap of turn 9. That does give Hump a little bit of an advantage, but Hump manages to stay behind. Jens doing a masterclass of defending. George Gamer though up to P1 getting past MJB. So this race where MJB thought he might have under his belt, not so easy. MJB though will have DRS as we head towards now lap 6. These laps are flying by. DRS on the Aston Martin, DRS on the Alpine, DRS on the Mercedes, and DRS all behind. Will MJB look for a move? Yes, he does. Will Jens look for a move? He looks like he's too far back after his little bit of an instant through turn 9. Everyone, though, top 4, very, very close. Bubba still looking to close up on that fight at the front. DRL, Alex, and 21 still going hammer and tong for P9 here. Nice battle we like to see. Max Tier's got past Creon in that Red Bull, so the Alpine looking for a recovery after that shocker of a qualifying. But up at the front is what we want to see. The action, as always in CLR Thursday, is still very, very close. George Gamer will be looking to get this move back and into P1 again. He's led a lot of F1 races in CLR and he knows what he's doing. He will probably be able to do it again as we head on to lap 7 here. Or will MJB be able to pull out another masterclass of defence and stay ahead for another lap? Possibly. It is just a game of DRS scam games at the moment. Will we see a little bit of DRS chicken? I hope not. We don't like to see that. But Hump is all over the back of Jens as well. Jens looking like he's struggling a little bit on these soft compounds. They will probably be coming off sooner rather than later now. But we will ride on board with the man from Luton in the Williams. Will he look to the inside? Will he look to the outside? MJB covers the outside. So here comes the man from Luton on the inside of turn 1. Does get the lead. Covers off his outside line. Gives a nice little bit of a squeeze to the Dutchman in the Aston Martin. And back up to P1 goes George Gamer. So a good move from him. Jens has closed back up after that little bit of action. And so has Bubba and Humps. So the action here is really heating up. Reggie on the look of the school and the other Aston Martin. So one Aston Martin fighting one Williams, the other Williams fighting the other Aston Martin. So it is very interesting, this race. One of the V-carbs right on the back, and then the other V-carb still fighting with DRL Alex. On his first race in CLR here today, P9. He'll be looking to close up on this front fight to try and see if he can get any action involved. Jens has still fallen off a little bit as he struggles through Sector 2. Not with the tyre grip that he had at the start of this race, so he is struggling just a tiny bit in P3. DRS does bring him back into it though. That's all he needs to do. Stay in the DRS and Jens will be okay. If he falls out of this DRS, his race will crumble very quickly. Like an apple crumble it will. However, on to lap 8 now. Here comes MJB, the Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman, to the inside of turn 1. George Gamer doesn't have DRS. Nice little simple move for the term P2 in current Drivers' Championship. He'll be P1 if things end as it stands. George Gamer won't like that. He'll want to get involved in this action. P2 for MJB, however, will still put in P1. All he needs, 14 points to be, 9 points to be in the lead of our championship. He led it at the start of the season, hasn't led it since. Your boy Hobnob, betterly known as SNRI's captain, has been leading for quite a while. It is time for a change. Your boy Hobnob isn't here to try and defend himself, so it is all down to MJB to score the maximum points he can. Looking further back though, Igor in the V-Carb has fallen out of the DRS, so that means DRL Alex has a chance to close up the V-Carb driver. The second V-Carb driver at 21, he'll be looking to make a move on DRL Alex, or at least use him to close up. There goes Hump, however. Hump on the inside of Jens, Jordan Hall, in towards turn 10 there. So that has given Hump P3. We will probably see Jens coming into the pit lane soon. And we are. The end of lap 8. Here comes the first pit stop of this round 10 CLR Thursday race. He's into the pit lane. Nicely stopped there. On his marks perfectly. Into the pit lane. What tyre will the Alpine crew choose here today? As the teammate of Max Tier also comes in. It looks like the hard compound. Yes, it is. The white wall of tyre is onto that Alpine car. We have a yellow flag though. That is Rico on the exit of turn 4. He's got himself going again, nice and slowly. He doesn't want to spin again after those tyres really scream out and help. But so do both the Alpines onto hard. Rico's going again. He's right ahead though of George Gamer, who's got back into the lead. MJB still close behind. Humph still hunting down, and so do you have Bubba into P4 as the Alpine of Jens is now down to P13. Made a pit stop. He'll be looking ahead, trying to get past some of these slower cars, possibly the Red Bulls, as soon as he can. This is his time to shine now in that Alpine car. His teammate needs a recovery on this nice new compound. The white wall of tyre needs to do him an absolute wonder. As we are now heading on to the end of lap 9, here will come MJB. MJB and George Gamer, we've seen it before, we'll see it again. They're going to switch as we head towards turn 1. MJB to the inside. Here comes the man in the Aston Martin, has the lead once again. Simple as that. George Gamer stays where he's at, so does Hump and Bubba behind. Reggie has fallen off behind, but here comes Skull, the man from Britain, in the Aston Martin. Well, he looks to the inside now of turn 4. He had a bit of a poor exit of turn 3, so he doesn't have enough. The V-Club driver, though, 21, into the pit lane, off of that compound, now onto the hard compound tyre. The white wall, he's in P13, comes out ahead of Max Tier, behind Furious Appy and Jens, though. So Jens doing enough to get past the Furious Appy in the Red Bull and begin to close up from the pack ahead. We'll show you the current gap to his leader of MJB. He's 21.3 seconds behind. He is closing. The pit stop around here, I think, is about 21 seconds. So if Jens can do enough, he will come out in the lead of this race. So Jens is doing a masterclass here, but he is doing a little bit of mistakes there as we see him ride the curb of turn 8 on the inside. So he needs to be careful he doesn't get any more warnings, as he will definitely be pushing it now. Up ahead, George Gamer though, will we see him switch for the lead once again? Doesn't need to do much pushing because it is quite easy with the DRS. He goes to the outside of turn 1. MJB, this is probably a bit of the hardest one we've had. Going side by side into turn 2. George Gamer now on the outside of turn 3. Does he have the traction to keep ahead? No, he does not. MJB gets the lead. Here comes Humph though. He's trying to pick up the scraps as Bubba is trying to just watch from behind a bucket of popcorn. MJB has defended off the lead from George Gamer for another lap. So MJB will lead again. Skull and Reggie go in hammer and tong, giving Igor the space to close back up again. The Haas of DRL Alex is also closing back up onto this fight ahead, so he'll be looking very happy in that car. But Jens has closed 4 attempts since we last spoke about him. He is definitely quick on this hard compound tyres. The mediums will be coming to a bit of an end of their life cycle now, and we will definitely see some of them boxing maybe a bit earlier, or they might try and extend as late as they can and go onto the softs. We saw Jens's softs did kind of die after about 6 laps, so it would be a risky strategy if these mediums don't last a long time. But we will see. Here comes George. For a second attempt, will he go for the lead? He's using a bit more power this time on this Williams, and he does have the lead before we get to turn 1. MJB with the late braking though. Will he be able to make the move back onto the lead? No, he does not. Hump, however, on the outside of turn 3, tries to make a little bit of a switchback, but here comes Bubba out of nowhere on the move of Hump. Hump looks for a move on MJB, ends up getting overtaken. No, he does not. Here comes Hump again, side by side through turn 4. We're going to take this all the way to turn 5. No, we're not, as Hump goes wide out of turn 4, drops him down to P4, and that is Hump passed by the McLaren driver. Very interesting. Jens has closed another second since we last saw him. So Jens is very, very quick. He's got past the second Red Bull. Bijan on the kick Sauber car. He's pit as well. Furious Happy, he's onto the white wall tyre as well. So a lot more drivers going onto fresh tyres. We'll show your current tyres as Dino Stan pit nice and early. So did Jo. So did Rico. Will they go to the end? We'll find out. But as I said, Jens needs to be careful on track limits. He gets a 3-second time penalty. Not ideal. However, it is not the end of the world. Here goes Skull into the pit lane. Skull, and here comes Boomer as well. Both drivers hitting the pit lane wall there. We can't see them as they've both retired out of the race. That is the tyre cleanly shredded off. So, hitting the pit wall entry. We're right on board of Jens, so you can see what actually happened. On that pit wall, you need to brake. Otherwise, you go flying off. There's no grip there. Skull and Igor out of the race. It's a silly way to make yourself out of the race, as Key Creon obviously pits onto the hard compound, the white wall of tyres, gets a 10-second time penalty and a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Raceborough and Max Tier stay out, and the cars behind I'm sure will too, but the cars ahead, George Gamer, MJB, Bubba, Humph, Reggie and DRL Alex are going to get a massive undercut here, as I have not pitted yet. This will mean that Jens will end up coming out behind everyone ahead of him. So Jens, who was going to be coming out in P1, will now be staying in P7 as the pit stop time is cut by about 10 seconds here with a safety car. So Jens is going to lose out massively, and this is not what he wants. He's going to lose out massively and have more worn tyres. Will he box? That is the question I am beginning to think. Will Jens put it into the pit lane? Obviously in P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and then P6 will put into the pit lane, as Alex is going nice and slow to keep that delta in the green as much as he can. But here he comes into the pit lane. Your top 6 have decided to pit. Yeah, Jo has gone back onto the mediums, so they won't go to the end of the race. As we know, the mediums don't last too long. We've seen the guys at the front go about 13 laps. They probably could have done maybe 17 laps. So will Jo go to the end? He's got 20 laps to go. He will have to try, I think, but it will definitely be a challenge. I think he's got it under his belt, and he just needs to make sure he can keep it and pull it out from under his belt. George Gamer stays in P1. MJB, then your Bubba in the McLaren. Humph, here comes Jens. So Jens has managed to get out ahead of DRL Alex and Reggie, as Jo somehow gets a drive-through penalty for speeding. So that's not ideal for the Mercedes driver. So that medium compound of tyres we just spoke about, change of plans, he's now pretty much out of this race. But moving back on, Jens has got head of Reg and DRL Alex. 21 is back into this race. So is Raceborough, Max Deer, Creon, Furious Happy, Dino Stan and Rico. All will be caught back up to the back of this pack as Rico spins out of turn 12 there. Lucky to keep that caught. Very good skill, actually. It's not luck, it's good skill there, I have to say. That was a very nice catch from the McLaren driver. But everyone here will be caught back up to the back of the pack, and they will be very nicely ready to go again for the restart, which will be in a few laps' time. So I will run a 1 minute advert. I'll run a 1 minute 30 advert. So when you come back, hopefully we'll be getting underway for some more racing action. If you don't get the advert, I'll continue talking whilst I quickly stop for a drink, though. There we go. So pre-roll ads are off for 32 minutes, which is very nice, which means if you got that advert, you'll come back and you'll have 32 minutes of no adverts. But George Gamer keeps the lead. yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Obviously, the front four very lucky. Very, very lucky that they managed to get away with getting the safety car. Boomba and Skull will not be happy with themselves. I think Skull might have crashed because Skull crashed and then it made Igor crash. Looking at the Discord, yeah, Igor says we did the same thing. Skull says sorry, mate. Wishing the best race, having the best race of my season. Good luck, everyone. Igor was like, oh, bad words. 1 second later, deads. Both of them just hit the wall. So it wasn't that any of them had a little bit of an incident between each other. They just both crashed into the wall. Reg is laughing his head off. I'm sure he was. He's just lost his enemies. Yep. So two of our drivers having the first 2 retirements. 14 laps in. That was 13 laps in. We have seen 2 retirements. Not most elegant of retirements, and that is now means, I believe, that Boomba's had 2 retirements in a row. Let's have a look, shall we? Has Boomba had 2 retirements in a row? I'm going to try and find him. There he is. Yes, that will be 2 retirements in a row. So the V-Carb driver, not having a good stint. He got switched out of the McLaren after winning in Imola, misses the next 2 races, and then gets 2 DNFs. So probably wants to get back to that McLaren luck. Skull, however, has been doing fairly well, I believe. Yeah, when he showed up, he's had a fairly good, consistent race and has managed to get some okay points, just on the edge of the points. If you had the advert, welcome back. We've just been talking about Boomba and Skull hitting the wall in the pit lane entry. However, we're going back on the way again. But George will lead us away for a safety car. I haven't seen him lead a safety car in a very long time, so this will be exciting as he is going through now to turn 13. Will he have enough time to launch ahead of MJB? MJB's quick on these restarts. He needs to be careful. And no, here comes George. George is away. 4 tenths to the gap. 21, though, is spinning out down to P14. Down to last goes 21. So his race is just falling apart. MJB has been caught napping. Will Bubba look for a move? He tries to. Humph then gets caught up. Off onto the runoff does go the Mercedes driver. Ending up hitting, coming off a bit early. Then you have Dino Stan and I believe Jo getting a 10-second time penalty. Not sure what for, but there we go. Creon still has his 10-second time penalty. But Jens gets past the Mercedes of Humph there as he does increase through. Hello. As we are now watching the Mercedes driver of Humph in P5. Jens goes up to P4 after that safety car restart. And George managed to stay ahead with a 4-10th lead. Here comes MJB in the Aston Martin. Will he be able to get past with the DRS as it's not activated yet? Here comes Baba as well in the McLaren. Will he be looking onto the inner side of MJB if he's caught napping, like we saw on the safety car restart? Dino Stan and Jo fighting hammer and tong. So Furious Appy, Rico in 21. Here comes 21 though, on the inside of turn 12, on the nice long sweeping corner. The V-car driver, will he get ahead? No, he does not. Rico of the beautiful defending. DRS gets enabled, it won't be on for this DRS straight. MJB with the raw overspeed though, up to P2. Will he go for P1? Yes, he does, on the inside. Gets the inside of turn 2 as well. MJB and the Aston Martin up to P1. Bubba just stays behind. Jens is going to be angry. He knows he needs that position. He knows he needs to get up as far as he can, as quick as he can. So Jens will definitely be looking to make moves as quick as possible, especially on that McLaren driver. He is currently, obviously in the Alpine, 7th in the Constructors, with the big little tank subs for the Alpine, but he's currently 7th in the Constructors. Up ahead is the V-Car, Racing Bulls and Haas drivers, and they are both on 99 points in the Constructors. So 10 points behind are the Alpine duo, but then 2 points behind the Alpine is the Mercedes team. So Humph needs to beat Jens, and Jens needs to beat both the Hasses and Racing Bulls. They are both doing that respectively, apart from Humph, who needs to beat Jens. So yeah, Jens is doing an absolute blinder. Obviously, DRL Alex won't score points for the Haas team. And Racing Bulls, where are they? Boomber's crashed out in 21, has had a little spin after safety car restart. However, we'll continue on with this race. Here comes George Gamer on the outside, past MJB. Will Bubba look for a move on the outside of turn 1? Yes, he does. Will MJ be able to make the move stick on the outside now of turn 2? Yes, he does, as that's a very good move from MJB. On to turn 3, though. Will Jens be looking for a move? I think so. We're going to look towards turn 4. Here comes everyone. Humph, though, on the inside of the Alpine, nearly on the McLaren as well. Humph is past the Alpine. Will the Alpine get a better traction on the exit of turn 4? No. Jens down to P5, so Jens is struggling now with Reggie go for a move on the exit of turn 4 there. Sorry, 5. I'm already losing my voice. Here comes Reggie. He's definitely one I would like to watch as he is absolutely flying. Will MJ be making a move soon again? I would assume so. But Dero Alex is right up the chuff of that Williams of Reg. So Dero Alex will be looking for a move, gaining 4 positions in total this race. The most positions gained so far, though, is Creon in that Red Bull. But currently has Dino Stan behind him, so Dino Stan wants to ruin that statistic for that Red Bull driver. Right now, here comes MJB. We're going on to now lap 19. We have 14 laps to go, but MJB with 14 laps to go has taken the lead. George Gamer, though, sets the fastest lap of this race so far. That fastest lap was a 14.9, which is a very quick lap time, actually. Very, very quick lap time. So, will we see George Gamer continue this pace further on into the Grand Prix? We've seen it already. We'll probably can see him continue it. Currently P2, lap 19, through turn 5 we go. Bubba and Humph, Red Jens. Here's Reggie, Alex, Bijon maxed here. Creon now enters turn 5. Then Dino Stan close behind. Furious Appy, 21. Rico, and then Jayo, who served his drive-through penalty, I do believe. Yes, he has. Still has that 10-second time penalty. Is currently 10 seconds off of the pack, which is quite a big margin. And he's got that extra 10-second time penalty, which is just going to hinder him and bug him until the end of this race. So he's not had the best race so far. Jayo, whilst we're talking about him, let's have a look at his current career in CLR. He has so far a DNF, P14, P6 and P8. So he had a bit of a recovery the last 2 races, but this race, not his best. He'll be looking to improve once again. But here comes George Gamer. Back up to P1, onto lap 20. But Bubba tries again on the outside of turn 1. Then the inside of turn 2. The McLaren driver gets a proper squeeze from the Aston Martin. That was a bit pushy there from the Aston Martin. Bubba has fallen behind Hump, nearly also by Jens, as we see the Hump giving Bubba a bit of a squeeze. Bubba's getting mullered here. He needs to be given a little bit more room. Here comes Jens, nearly 3 wide into turn 5. Little bit of a squeeze there from Hump. Bubba's falling down to P4 after trying to make a move in turn 1. Furious Appy and Dino Stan fighting hammer and tong further behind through turn 5. That's Dino Stan now past the Aaron Red Bull. Now looking ahead to the other Red Bull. There he goes. But up ahead, Dero Alex is also now continuing to look for the move on Reggie. Can't make it just yet, as I just stopped to drink once again, as my voice is really struggling now. Here comes MJB though. Oh, maybe not. There is an 8/10 gap between the Williams driver and the Aston Martin. Down behind Creon. Massive spin, and he's into the wall with front wing damage. We have a VSC. So, VSC, Creon, we see front wing damage and backwards across the track. Max here jumps into the pit lane, which is interesting. But we are going to have a bit of a cooldown. George Gamer, though, nearly a 1 second margin to MJB. Hump's has got that 1 second gap gained from MJB, which is not what he wants to see. Bubba close behind with Jens still hot on the tail. Reggie and DRL Alex still just really close to each other, but not changing. Bijon trying to catch back up to this pack with Furious Appy up to P9, which is incredible for the Red Bull driver. Not normally up there. That would probably be his best ever CLR race result if he manages to stay there. This VSC won't last long, we do know that. Max tier onto the mediums. Jo, Creon, and I'm assuming Rico all serve their penalties and get on the way, but 21 gets a drive-through penalty for speeding. So does Dino Stan, and so does Furious Appy. So the 3 drivers in the middle of the pack, both go, all 3 of them, all get speeding penalties, which is not what you want. their races are pretty much over unless a safety car at the end. But DRS will be deactivated, I believe. So this 1 second gap that George has nearly pulled won't be closed down this DRS straight as long as I'm correct. I'm incorrect. MJB does have DRS. So MJB will close back up on towards that Williams driver. Was now 8 tenths, now 2 tenths. He looks to the inside, does go the Aston Martin driver up into P1, has a little bit of a tank slapper and has lost out 2 positions. MJB down to P3, Hump's pass. Hump is right up the chuff of the Williams car. Will he look to the outside of turn 4? No, he does not, but MJB ends up losing out massively there in towards lap 22. That is not what you like to see for the Aston Martin driver. Down at the back, the 3 that got the drive-through penalties into the pit lane. Max Tier's just up into P9, so he'll be over the moon with that. But currently, your top 9 with 23-second lead to P9. So your top 8 with a 23-second lead to P9. Bijan is just off of the pack of P7 and up, so nice and close. At the front, George Gamer still has the lead. Hump, however, is right up behind him. As we go through into turn 12 now, we are going to watch DRL Alex, I think, as I've seen him on the back of Reggie for quite a while now, and he'll be looking to make that move on Reggie, I think, this lap, as he is right up the chaff. But Reggie's had a very good exit there, and that'll probably give him a bit of an advantage, and DRL Alex won't be able to make the move. We'll see. As we go up to 8th gear, George Game has dropped down past MJB and Hump. Obviously, without the DRS, you're sitting duck, and that does mean the Williams is down. Will he look to the outside of turn 3? Yes, he does. Will he make the move stick, though? That's the question. It looks like he's trying to. MJB covers it off well, though, so the Williams driver doesn't make the move stick, and he is down into P3 after P1 for that lap. 21 gets a 3-second time penalty, so that V-Carb driver getting absolutely rocketed with penalties. The V-Carb team together aren't having the best of weekends we have seen so far from them both. Up ahead, though, where we still are now, George Gamer just tuning out a little bit. He knows he lost that position just to do at DRS. It's not because he's slow. Jo sets off past his lap of the race, so he's flying. But here comes George Gamer. Will he look up the inside of Hump? Because MJB has, and here he comes on the inside of turn 10. MJB is ahead in the back onto P1. We have a yellow flag, and that is Dino Sound retiring in the pit lane. But we want to see up ahead MJB's pass on the second DRS straight of lap 23. Hump now has DRS as we now go on to lap 24, which means 9 laps remaining in this race. And we still have no idea who's going to win this race as Hump bounces in the lead. Here comes George Gamer. Maybe Bubba goes for a move on MJB as well. On the inside of turn 1, there he goes. Oh, no he doesn't. He's now down to P6. Don't know what happened there. DRL Alex and Bubba inside of each other. It looks like DRL Alex will come out ahead. Up ahead, Hump's now in the lead. MJB and then George has stayed the same. Side by side though, go George and Jen, side by side in towards turn 5, out of turn 4. Very close. Jen's on the outside. The slightly older tyres, George gives a big squeeze to the Alpine driver. Doesn't mean that Reggie might be able to make a move. No, he doesn't. DRL Alex nice and close behind. Very, very close behind. Bubba, though, down to P7. I think that might have been lag from what I saw when he was on the inside of MJB. Could have been P2, now P7. He's not going to be happy about that. MJB. Max T is absolutely flying in P9. He is actually closing on Bijan, but there's not enough laps left in this race. As Dero Alex is still on the back of Reggie, but that is not the optimal line as he is sideways on the exit of turn 12. Bubba just has to sit behind him as there's nowhere to go. So that means the second gap has been built. Will DRL Alex be overtaken by Bubba? It looks like it as he has the overspeed. Here he comes in the McLaren. On the outside, he's already passed. On the outside goes the McLaren driver. Jens is now up to P3 though. He's done a good move on George Gamer. Your top two have pulled a 1 second lead as MJB is back in the lead. Will Holt be looking to make the move back? Of course he will. Jens though, we know that he'll definitely want to try and close that gap back up to the top two. It is crucial that he gets this gap closed as quick as he can. The Williams duo though, P4 and 5 together, they'll be happy with that. McLaren, if we look at the constructors, we don't normally mention the constructors, so we'll quickly go over it whilst I have a quick breather. McLaren with 187 points, closely followed behind by Aston Martin with 159. we will see probably a big score for the Aston Martin here today if MJB wins. And Bubba only in P6, Rico not scoring any points as he's a reserve. Then Williams is close behind for 143. So this good point scoring race that they're having so far will result in them closing up massively on the back ahead. Kick Sauber falling out back behind into P4 last race. They'll fall even further behind with Race Brody in P8 and Eddie not showing up. But there goes George Gamer up into P3 past Jens, and Humph up into P1 past MJB. So lots of changes just due to DRS at the moment. Nothing too exciting, we know it happens. DRL Alex still in P7 after his little bit of a tank slapper through turn 12 earlier on in the race. Bubba up in P6, a bit of a recovery after his little incident with lag, to say the least. But Jens, your current, as I get rid of the scoreboard, your current only driver in the top 9 who has a 3-second time penalty. And with the top 9 being so, top 8 being so close, this would mean Jens would drop down massively. If he wins the race and it's still this close, he would probably finish in P7 or maybe P8 if Bijan can do enough. But up ahead, currently looking for P1, is Humph. Will Humph be able to get the move into P1 past MJB? We're coming to the closing end of this race now, on towards lap 27. Humph has DRS on the Aston Martin. George just misses out, but he sets the fastest lap of the race, closing in heaps and bounds on the front two. Jens is just keeping up with DRS. MJB is behind Humph though. So these two switch and switch and switch up in P1 and 2. But here comes the George Gamer. The man, the Mad Hatter as some of you might know him as, the man from Luton, is absolutely flying. 3-time world champion is showing his class. Ex-winner in here, as said in the briefing at the start. He got P1 in CLR 24 launch season, race 3, and then went on to win the championship. So will we see the man from Luton going on to win a second time here in Spain? That's the question left to be answered. 6 laps left till we find out the answer that we all want to know. Who will win this race here today to mark the middle of our CLR calendar before we reach the end of season 4? But we still have 6 laps left of this race and many, many laps more of left of this season. Many, many laps. But here comes MJB once again into turn 14. Here he comes, activating the DRS. George Game will have DRS behind as well. Jen's just about. Here comes the Aston Martin onto lap 28 on the inside, passed by turn 1. Good move from the Aston Martin. Another switch on DRS. But have closed behind are George and Jens. Reggie though lost out quite a bit that lap and is currently a second off the pack. He's not going to be happy with that. Bubba's nice and closely behind though. I'm just having a quick look around my desk because I've forgotten something. But there we go, we'll continue on the race. DRL Alex right on the back of Bubba there. Nice and close. Will he be making a move? Hopefully. We want to see that from the man. Oh, I don't know. From the man from Britain? I think so. I hope so. He's fairly new to some CLR sim racing, but he's not new to sim racing in general. He's an experienced driver. He knows what he's doing. He'll be looking to score some better points in the next end of this race, or if he comes back in the future, maybe then too. At the moment though, up ahead, George Gamer is absolutely flying into P3 now. 3 tenths off of Humph, who's 6 tenths off MJB. This DRS advantage that George will have is going to be perfect for the Williams driver. But Humph with the overspeed down the straight onto lap 29. Will Humph be looking for the move on the Aston Martin? Yes, he is. George Gamer has to sit behind for another lap now. The laps are very quickly going, so we can't do it for much longer as Jens has fallen off of the front 3 fight. We'll quickly switch it to leader just so you can see. But, yes, JB has been passed by Humph, and George Gamer is just buying his time, but he has not got much time left. As Humph makes a mistake on the exit of turn 4, meaning MJB is back into the lead of the race. So Humph back into P2. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But your top 7 still in a big DRS train. It is incredible here today to see how close it is. I am very, very happy with what is going on here today in CLR Thursday tier. The action is very, very close. We've still got a few laps left. Let's enjoy them as much as we can, as I'm sure our drivers will provide the action that we like to see here in CLR. Here comes George Gamer, here comes Humph, and obviously MJB as we go to the helicopter cam on towards lap 30. This now means 3 laps remain, including this lap, 4 laps remain. 4 laps remain of this race. Here comes Humph, back into the lead. Yes, he is. Humph now into the lead. MJB P2, George Gamer P3. It is close. It is very, very close. Jens is back into the DRS as well. So, with that 3-second time penalty that he has, we'll drop him down. But on track, I want to see what he can do. Everyone has closed that 1-second gap, though. The fighting is keeping this race extremely exciting. However, we have got nearing to the middle of lap 13 now. MJB right up the chuff of the Mercedes driver. Gion at the back of the pack. 21 has got past Rico, as Rico gets a 3-second time penalty, which adds to his previous one, so he's up to 6 seconds now. Every driver has served their big penalties, so it's just the track limits now that are going to affect people to the end of this race. We're going to continue to watch your front pack. This is where the excitement is happening, as MJB 2 tenths off of the lead, George Gamer 2 tenths off of the front 2, and then Jens 5 tenths off of the front 3. So he is very, very close at the moment. Here comes MJB though, on the outside of Humph. George Gamer has decided this is time to shine as well, as he goes right to the inside of Humph. Now MJB, no he does not, he stays behind both drivers. So the only switch was between MJB and Humph that lap. Interesting down the DRS straight. George Gamer did use quite a lot there to try and get that lead. So did Humph. MJB just chilling a little bit, as we have not seen an absolute domination like we normally do. It is very, very close. 3 laps remaining now, as we are on to lap 31. It is all to play for. You couldn't say who wins this race, as Humph is just dropping back a little bit on MJB. MJB is doing fairly well here, as he's on disconnect. MJB has ghosted for a second there. He is back, but that gap he had just built that entire lap is gone. Interesting. MJB could have had a little bit of a breather there, but not anymore. Humph is back on his tail, so is George. Jens can't be sniffed at. That 3-second time penalty can be, but on track I'm sure he still wants to show what he can do. Here comes George Gamer. You can see him biting at the tail of the Mercedes driver. Jo into the pit lane. He'll be looking for a fastest lap, possibly. But here comes Humph. Will Humph get back into the lead? Yes, he does. Does George Gamer have enough overspeed to get past MJB? He looks for it, doesn't think it's the best option, and stays behind once again. Humph onto our penultimate lap is back up into P1. MJB P2. Does MJB look for the move? Of course he does. On the exit of turn 3, the MJB, the Aston Martin, looks for the move, can't make it stick. Jens is up to P3. No, he's not, because George has made a move up on the MJB. What do you make it on Humph as well? The outside of turn 5 goes the Williams driver. Very, very close action. We're into wheel locking. Does Humph keep the lead? Yes, he does. Covers it off very nicely into turn 7. MJB loses out 2 positions from that action. Here comes MJB though. Once again, loses 2 positions. Wants to gain them back again. Jens is looking for the move on MJB though. To the outside of turn 10. Dear old Alex has just appeared out of nowhere. Making a double overtake, I think, on Reggie and Bubba. Absolutely flying through the inside of turn 10. Jens, however, has made a massive dive bomb. But he's shoved off George Gamer and MJB. MJB and George Gamer, both with front wing damage, and have been pushed out of the front fight. Could that have been a little bit of controversy from Jens? We will wait and see. We're on to the final lap now. We will regather after this race ends. Dear Alex somehow has ended up in P2. Jens is up to P3. Humph is currently in the lead, with George Gamer and MJB dropping down to P6 and 7. That's George Gamer going slowly. He's got no front wing. Neither does MJB, losing a massive chunk. He's got Bijan right up his chuff. Bijan will be looking for the move for P6 now. Here comes Reggie though, up to P3, past the Alpine. Then comes Bubba as well on the outside of turn 5. We're on the final lap now. We're on the final time we go through the second sector. We got the little DRS straight. after turn 9, the stint up to turn 10. Does DRL Alex have enough to get past before we reach the end of this race? It doesn't look like it. Hump is absolutely flying as we go through turn 10 now. DRL Alex breaks as late as he can. He's right up the back of the Mercedes driver. But it looks like, once again, Hump will lead and win another race. Controversially, to say the least, Jay gets the fastest lap of the race. Does DRL Alex have enough to get a pass on the final turn? He has a good exit. Is it enough? No, it's not. Hump will win here in Spain in P1. DRL Alex P2, 9/100ths off. Then you have Reggie in P3, rounding off your podium. Bubba, for one of the first times, is up there in P4, absolutely flying. Jens with his 3-second time penalty down to P5. MJB sticks it into P6 after his collision with George Gamer and Jens, which I'm sure will be reviewed after the race. Racebar comes down into P7. Max here and George Gamer, side by side across the line, covered by 400th, does go Max tier. And George Gamer, who did finish in P9, has been DNF'd from this race. He will score points at P9, so everyone else behind him will be a point position behind. So 21 is P10, Rico P11, Furious Appy P12, Jayo will be P13, and then Recon P14 with Dino Sand Skull and Boomba, also known as Igor, rounding off your grid here today. What a race, I have to say. That was a very, very exciting one, indeed. So, Humph, let's just debrief what just happened those last couple of laps. Humph has won the race. Who was P2? That was, I believe, DRL Alex, as the game gives him driver of the day. And I would have to agree, my driver of the day here today would have been DRL Alex. But we'll go to your podium now. Here you see Humph raising the British flag, the Union Jack. He's got it on his back. He's over the moon. 3 British drivers on the podium here in Spain. That is what you like to see if you're a British fan. As yeah, Humph wins the race. Dear Alex P2, driver of the day. He's my commentator driver of the day. First race here in CLR. Spent most of it right at the back of this DRS train. Right at the end, shows his ability and pounces, getting P2. Reggie, though, with a very good race, rounding off your podium. There he is in that Williams suit there. However, that is your race well and truly completed. So, what a race that was. Humph getting driver of the day. We thought maybe MJB or George Game were up there to win the race. No, as they both crash out right at the end. Not what you like to see, but it is what has happened. It is what it is. And yeah, it's a very close at the top of the pack. If you have a look, you can see the top 4 only covered by 1.3 seconds, which is absolutely insane. We had a load of viewers here in chat today, no new followers, so I'm sure we'll see some more later on. If you enjoyed today's race, make sure you share it. If you are joining in later on in the YouTube, I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're watching on the Twitch after the race as well, make sure to drop a follow. And if you're watching afterwards, I'm sure there'll be a couple of highlights on the TikTok after that absolutely energetic race. So if you're not followed on the CLR TikTok, make sure you drop us a follow on there and have a look at the TikToks. Make sure you leave a like on all of them. But that was CLR Thursday round 10 at Spain over. We are now halfway through our season. Going into next week, though, we will be flying over. Where will we be flying over to? Let's have a quick look, shall we? As I don't want to look at the driver lineup. I want to look at the calendar. We are going to be going, after the nicely new made graphics, Qatar. We will be going to Qatar here in CLR Thursday next week out. Tomorrow, though, CLR Friday, hosted by George Gamer and possibly Max here, you will be seeing Japan. So the Suzuka circuit is where we'll be going next week. No, sorry, tomorrow. Next week will be at Qatar. So make sure you tune in for tomorrow's race with George Gamer. And we also tune in next week. We will have me once again, hopefully. And that has been me for round 10. I hope you enjoyed. And we will see you tomorrow and next week. Thank you very much. Oh, and have a good night. Love you lots.